Yo, 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 yo. Earl Skakel. We're going to do a quick Earlverse. See if the numbers are any better, any worse. We'll just flesh it out. What up, Dr. Nova and ACDC? We'll do AEW, a mini review of sorts. So we'll start off with 0 Hour, which is the pre-show for AEW. We got Anna Jay defeated Deonna Purrazzo with my friend Taya Valkyrie. I have her doll right there. By pinfall, pretty good match. It should have been in front of more people. It's like being the first comic on a lineup. But a good way to start off the whole card. And then Buddy Matthews defeated Dante Martin, Commander, and the Beast Mortos. Hopefully this is the start of a good run for Buddy Matthews. He should be, I love the House of Black, but I do think that Buddy Matthews should be a singles guy. A lot of people forget that, he was kind of compared to being a younger, bigger Kenny Omega. So think about that. And then I thought I had horrible hopes for this match. Big Boom AJ with Big Justice versus QT Marshall. I don't know who Big Boom and the Rizzler and this fucking group is. I guess they're viral. The Costco, something about Costco and eating. I'm not clowning on them. I just don't know who they are. And versus QT Marshall. And shout out to QT Marshall for carrying this match and selling for AJ. I mean, really, it was a fun match. I don't think there's any long-term storytelling that's going to come out of this match. It was just, it's for the kids and for the people who know who AJ is. And then the main card starts off with the four-way tag. You had Private Party, the Outrunners, who are one of my new favorite tag teams, Kings of the Black Throne, and the Acclaimed. Private Party retains the title. Good opener for the main card. I don't think there were too many oh my God spots. And then you had MJF, and I thought it was way too early to have MJF on, but a very good match, I thought. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling this feud with MJF and Roderick Strong, but Roderick Strong's a great wrestler, so it was a good match. And then a very good women's match of Mercedes Moné and Chris Statlander. Mercedes Moné won, but they kind of teased Statlander winning at several points, which I liked. It was just a squash. And then you had Jay White and Hangman Adam Page. Good match. Nothing to write home about. I don't think people were really feeling the feud in the first place, but Jay White wins. Not sure what happens with either one after this match. And then you had Osprey and Kyle Fletcher, one-time United Empire trios and tag team partners. Very good match. I personally would not have had Fletcher go over Osprey, but maybe this is part of a story or a program. Because now what do you do with Osprey? I mean, I would not have him lose to Kyle Fletcher. But the one good thing is Kyle Fletcher is now over because he's the guy that beat Osprey. So, um, and then you had, something that it was like a segment between Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa. They're breaking up. I don't know. It didn't feel like pay-per-view worthy. Like this is something that maybe could have been on Collision, but I mean, I guess it served its purpose of the breakup, but I don't know, it just felt like, this pay-per-view was way too long, in my opinion. I mean, if you watch 0 hour to the final match, it's almost 5 hours. That's a lot to put fans through, even an idiot like me. Um, and then Jack Perry against Daniel Garcia. Um, Garcia wins, so that was a big deal. Um, I'm not sure what happened to Jack Perry um, after this. I thought maybe the Bucks or at least Okada would come out and cause some interference. Good match, but I don't know. It just didn't grab me. I mean, this was probably the worst match on the card, but it was still a good match. So I do think the pay-per-view overall was very good. I mean, when the worst match on the card is a good match, you're doing something right. Then you had kind of a match that was just thrown together. I didn't really care who won or lost. Takeshita versus Ricochet. Um, I don't know. I mean, Takeshita won. Match wasn't as high paced as I thought it would be, given who was competing. But I mean, it was still a good. It wasn't like a bad match. It just didn't. Um, uh, just didn't grab me like the Perry Garcia match. And then you had the co-main event: Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley. Kind of surprising that they would put Lashley over. Swerve so dominant. I mean, Swerve got in some good offense, don't get me wrong, but I thought it was just I don't know, I would have had maybe a controversial finish so you could go for a rematch. But, the ending was so dominant by Lashley, I don't know what you do with Swerve now. I mean, he's gonna need a bit of rehab. He was the champion a few months ago, and now he's kind of jobbing to Bobby Lashley. And I get you don't want Lashley, you know, losing his first big match in AEW, but I don't know. It's not the way I would have done it. And I don't like Bobby Lashley's music. It doesn't get you going at all. So you better work on that. I mean, that's something where WWE would have him walk out to like Metallica or something. And then you have John Moxley and Orange Cassidy. Um, Fun match, violent. Of course, you would expect it to be given the participants. Um, and then so Moxley wins, and then they have Hangman Page come out, and you don't know if he's helping Moxley or if he's going to attack him. And then Christian comes out with the basically the Money in the Bank, the AEW's version of Money in the Bank. And he hits the kill switch on Moxley, and then Moxley's down. And then it just was kind of a, Marina Shafir starts beating up, Orange Cassidy, and then Willow Nightingale comes out. And I mean, I don't know. It was kind of a clusterfuck at the end, to be honest with you. So, um, you know, I mean, I guess it was a good main event. I mean, it was interesting, and the crowd was into it for such a long fucking card. But I don't know. The ending was kind of a clusterfuck with Paige and Christian, and then the final, I guess you'd say, promo or vignette was when that group, the Death Riders, are walking to their car, and then a car smashes into it, and it's Darby Allin. So clearly, Darby Allin is going to have, probably a program with Moxley. Maybe we'll see Willow and Marina Shafir, who I think was in Josh Barnett's Bloodsport tonight, along with my new Instagram buddy MVP. So, I don't know. All in all, I would say, I give it a B. I mean, like I said, there wasn't really one bad match, but there weren't a lot of oh my god moments either. I don't think there were any, to be honest with you. So, once again, that's been my complaint about AEW almost since they've started, was that um, their pay-per-views, although I do believe they do pay-per-views well, there's just something that lacks. You gotta have people talking on Sunday or Monday morning. Hey, did you see Full Gear? And did you see this? I mean, that's when WWE, when they're in their prime of operation, you go, oh my God, did you see Mankind fall off the cage? Or did you see, Triple H do this? Or Sting debuted or whatever? It's been a while since you've had an oh my God moment like that for an AEW pay-per-view. But, I paid for it, $49, direct TV. I got my money's worth. I mean, they don't cheat you. I mean, and, like I said, it's very rare that in a 5-hour pay-per-view, you can sit there and say there wasn't one bad match. Like, oh my God, this match was not good. But, even AJ and uh, QT Marshall it was passable. I mean, QT Marshall really sold for AJ and carried the match. Even when the kid speared him, he sold it. So very fun match. So that's my review of AEW Full Gear. Now let me see what are you got. I don't know ACDC. Sorry, I wasn't really reading the stream. I don't know what I don't so those two are in Costco commercials. And I don't know who the Rizzler is. I guess that's their sidekick. I guess they do like eating challenges or something. I don't know. So yes, I would love to play the small Asian chaperone. What's the hop? Okay, USA. Um, and I don't know who Kevin or Bob Levy are. Well, that's got to make them feel good. Um, by the way, my set last night at the Comedy Store, A-okay. So um, I had a manager come up to me afterwards, and now she was a little drunk, but I could tell she was big business. Was like, um, would you like a manager? Who are you? Do you have a manager? Who are you? And I'll call you tomorrow first thing. Of course, I gave her my number. I haven't heard from her all day. So, it was probably a fake out, but, who knows? I'm surprised they haven't done a remake of Bloodsport. Yeah, O'Neal was in the original room last night, killing it. I walked by and he was fucking ripping it up. Um, I was in the main room. He was in the original room. They had some stupid show up in the belly room. Um, so the store was pumping last night. I mean, people were hanging out in the kitchen till 3 a.m. like the old days, and all the cool kids were there. So it was a very fun time at the Comedy Store last night, and hopefully I'll be back there this week once or twice, and you know, take it from there. And then let me see what the Steelers. They played Thursday night in the Snow Bowl and did not do well. So, excuse me. This is not carbonated. I was having such a good set last night. I let out the biggest burp. Just I had a burp, and then usually I'll when I'm on stage I don't do stuff like that, but I got a real ripper in last night, and the crowd gave me an applause break. Hot crowd last night, full, completely full. When I walked into the room to cut across to the backstage area, there was not an empty seat in the house. So it was a very, very fun show last night. Um, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's. I mean, I could see a remake like on Netflix. I mean, I don't think you'd ever see a remake of Bloodsport in theaters, but you'd think with the advent of MMA and the growth of it that and Bolo Young is still alive. Maybe he could be the teacher. I mean, he's got to be close to 80, if not 80, because it's not like he was super young in Enter the Dragon. And Enter the Dragon was 73, I think. So I'm struggling finishing Netflix Karate Kid. I don't know. It's a little long in the tooth at this point. Um, so I mean, I thought the only thing that could have like piqued my interest was if they brought in like Hilary Swank, who was in the next Karate Kid, and even like Jackie Chan and Will Smith's kid, because they were part of the remake, so they're part of the franchise. But where is Larry B. Scott? The gay guy from Revenge of the Nerds. He was in Cobra Kai in the first. No, he didn't have a speaking part, but he was in like a fight scene, so like that would have been fun. Um, well, I liked. I think the first couple seasons they were in on the joke. They were almost parodying uh the fact that two teenagers are carrying on their karate feud for 45 years. So I kind of liked it, but now it's just um although I do like the new bad guys, like that Asian kid who I've seen in West Hollywood walking around. He's a pretty good bad guy, and the really tall guy, he's got potential to be a new beefcake type James Vanderbeek. But I don't know. Like I loved it when they brought back Terry Silver. But I also noticed this season there were no billboards on Sunset. Like the first couple seasons, like from now, this is a local reference, but you can Google Earth this, I guess, from like Doheny to Fairfax. So that's about a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles. You had at least 6 to 10 billboards for Cobra Kai. And the last season, which is this season, um, you didn't have one. So it was just like even I think Netflix is not throwing in the towel because I'm sure it's a profitable show for them, but kind of like, okay, we had a good run. That's it. Um, so I mean, I think I've got like 3 more episodes left. So hopefully they bring in some people. I mean, I did see Thomas Ian Griffith's name in the second episode in the credits. Now he wasn't in the episode, but that's Terry Silver, the bad guy from Karate Kid 3. So hopefully he comes back the last episode or two. I'm pretty sure. Um, but I mean, I remember people were so fucking excited about Cobra Kai like the first couple seasons because it was like, hey, who are they going to bring back? And like even the person I was dating at the time who had never heard of Karate Kid was like, "Yeah, let's watch it." She got really into it, and then her friends would come over and we'd watch it. So and I think they're making a Karate Kid movie or something. I don't know if that was a joke or I saw it somewhere online. I'm like, all right, this is getting a little much, to be honest with you. Um, like one that's going to be in theaters, or maybe it's just on Netflix, but it looked like a movie poster. So we'll see. I mean, I'm struggling to get through it though. I think I have, like I said, 3 more episodes left, and then I'll finish up Tulsa King. And then I did watch Lawman, or what was it? That new show with Billy Bob Thornton last week. Very good. I liked it. Of course, my guy from Sons of Anarchy and the Mayans, Emilio Rivera, was in it. Um, he got killed at the end of the episode, so I thought, oh man, he's going to be a series regular. Welcome to Hollywood, baby. You're a landman. I knew it wasn't. Lawman was Steven Seagal's thing. Ugh, I never saw that actually. But I like it. I recommend Landman. I don't know much about the cast other than Billy Bob Thornton, and not Michael Cera, but Michael. That Mexican dude who's always in. He's in everything, man. I think he played Mr. Rourke in the new Fantasy Island. He was in it. He got killed at the end. So yes, Michael Pena. You're always on top of it. Or maybe they didn't get killed off. I mean, they just showed the explosion at the end. Nice cliffhanger. It was very like 24 type ending. Like remember the first couple seasons of 24? Like every episode had a cliffhanger you didn't see coming. So um, hopefully they all survived. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Emilio Rivera is alive and well. But I think Landman is tonight, so I got to make sure I'm taping that. I've never watched Yellowstone, which is surprising to me because Wings Hauser, who's one of my favorite '80s B movie actors, um, his son Cole Hauser is one of the lead actors in Yellowstone. So you'd think that I'd be into Yellowstone, but I'm not like a huge Kevin Costner guy. So I don't know if Yellowstone's one of those shows where you have to watch from the beginning, or if I could just start watching the season now. And I'm a fan of the creator of Yellowstone, Taylor Sheridan, who if you are a fan of Sons of Anarchy, he played Sheriff David Hale in season 2 of Sons of Anarchy, and he asked for more money. So, like, literally the next episode, they were like, "Fuck it, there's a million of you out here," and they killed him off the show. And now he's worth like $200 million because he's the creator of Yellowstone. He's the creator of Landman. Like he's the creator of like the Yellowstone prequel that's out, I think, with Harrison Ford. So like David Hale got the last laugh. Sheriff David Hale. Well, I think with Costner, I don't think him and from what I know friends of mine who work on the show. It's a little inside baseball, a little inside Yellowstone baseball. They did not get along for some reason. And I'm sure it's a clash of egos, like Taylor Sheridan's like, hey, this is my fucking show. And I'm sure Kevin Costner's like, hey, I'm Kevin Costner, bitch. I've been a star for 30 years. You haven't. But welcome to Hollywood. I mean, but I think Yellowstone. I don't know. I mean, Kevin Costner's kind of like Larry Hagman was on Dallas. It's going to be pretty hard to sustain the viewers when you kill off one of the biggest stars of film and TV the last 30 years. But you know. We'll see. I mean, it could be an ensemble deal where people watch the show and not for Kevin Costner. Um, He was worth it, $200 million, but it's my understanding his finances. Well, I mean, I see, I heard differently. I heard he rents out the ranch to, like, Paramount for big money so they can film their shows there, so who knows? I mean, um, I mean, I can't imagine like, I know the residuals I get for the jellies are pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna be able to buy a home through them, but, um, I don't gotta worry where my next meal's coming from either, and, I could imagine, Sheridan's residuals, even from something from one season on Sons of Anarchy, and not even really the full season, are decent, but my god, his residuals for Yellowstone, I mean, like, that's he doesn't have to work ever again. Now a bad investment, can ruin that. I mean, look at the guy from, KK Downing from, Judas Priest. I mean, it's a different genre of entertainment, but, Judas Priest has been a successful band pretty much since 1983. So, what is that, 40 years, basically? 40, 41 years? And they say he's broke because he did some shitty land deal where he bought a golf resort in the UK, and it didn't do very well, and you think all the platinum records and just the merchandise cut alone he probably gets, he'd be set for 5 lifetimes, but not so much. Yeah, I mean, I can't like, I don't think the Jellies is on air right now. I mean, I guess you could stream it, but I don't think it's on like in regular rotation for say like Adult Swim or whatever. Um, and I still make decent money on residuals. Shit, I make pretty good money on I'm Dying Up Here, and I wasn't really. I mean, I was a recurring, uh, glorified extra on that show, with a couple lines here and there. Yeah, I mean, listen, I was Adler's neighbor in Century City, man. Um, I mean, you can blow money easily. I mean, I mean, I have a hard time believing Taylor Sheridan's going to blow money because, like you bring up Steven Adler, and there's a guy. I would probably guesstimate. I'm just guessing. I have no facts behind these figures. That Appetite for Destruction. I guess that probably sells 100,000 units worldwide a year forever. It's just that's an album that every kid, every teenager will buy that album just because their parents are going to talk about it, their uncles. Oh my God, Guns N' Roses, you got it. Well, I guess you could. I guess you stream now. So Adler will always have a little bit of income coming in. Taylor Sheridan will have a lot of income coming in. Uh, but one or two bad investments, can really sink you. I mean, like I said, you wouldn't think the Judas Priest guy would be, essentially broke, and what is he, in his 70s now? What's he gonna do? So Oh, yeah, I mean, I mean, they got a what was it, Guitar Hero they used Welcome to the Jungle, I think, was slashing it, so, I mean, Adler's probably getting paid. Yeah, I mean, Jason Newsted, well, I don't know if he got, I mean, I'm not a huge Metallica fan, so I don't know if, they cut him in on the publishing of that album. That's where the fucking money is. I mean, you get, I forget what they call it, you get credit for playing on it, but the big money's publishing, which is the one thing Lemmy from Motorhead did that was very cool. Because Lemmy was the primary songwriter, but he cut in Mickey, the drummer, and Phil, the guitar player, equal shares publishing so they could make money. But a lot of people don't do that. So, um, if Newsted wrote any songs on the Black Album, um, then you're talking big money. I mean, would that album sell like 20 million copies, and now streaming, and I don't be interesting to see if they cut him in on merch. And maybe he gets a cut of merch from any T-shirt that was from his time frame. I mean, I know like Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer, I don't think they get a cut of the merch from Kiss, even though they're on the T-shirts. That that's what I heard. Um, I mean, I would guess Lars Hetfield and the guitar player Kurt. I'm trying to blank on his name. You think I know the guitar player from Metallica? Um, I would guess those three. I mean, you talk about three guys who never have to work again. Um, but it's just funny to me that Eric and Tommy are on the T-shirt. Yeah, Kirk Hammer. I'm sorry. You'd think I would know the fucking guitar player from Metallica, but you know, I mean, I think that's what Vinnie Vincent's problem was with Gene and Paul. It's like, hey, man, I just wrote 8 of the 10 songs on "Lick It Up." Uh, like, I want to be paid like I'm in the band, not some hired gun for $1,000 a week. Um, so, it is interesting how bands like, Daryl Jones, the bass player in the Rolling Stones, he's not even in the fucking pictures. You can't find him in a band picture of the Rolling Stones. He's been in the band since Bill Wyman left, so that's like 30 years. You'd think by now they'd say, "Hey, bro, you can be in the picture for the new album." I mean, even Bon Jovi started putting Hugh McDonald in the pictures after he replaced Alec John Such. Rest in peace. So it is interesting to see how bands divvy up the cash. Yeah, Vinny's got other problems at the moment. But and Newstead, didn't he have that? What was that band? Flotsam and Jetsam? Wasn't that his band? So I mean, he's probably living comfortably. Like I could see him living in a $2 to $4 million home in say Encino, just chilling. Probably just studio work. Last night's set was great. I mean, um, completely sold out. Who died for? They died on the same day. Actually, I remember that. I was sitting in my parents' living room in Miami, and news came out that Freddie Mercury died, and then just so we talk about bad timing to die the same day Freddie Mercury did. Oh yeah, and the drummer from Kiss, Eric Carr, died. Let's get back to this Flock of Seagulls video from their latest album. Um, but last night's set was great. It was completely sold out, so that's a fat paycheck. And there are only like 7 comics on the bill, I think. So, now you got to figure 400 people, probably 50 to 75 got in for free, guest list or whatever. So we're splitting $20 to $40 tickets, 325 people, not a bad chunk of change. So when people say, well, Earl only plays the Comedy Store, well, now you know why. You think the Kookabine Lounge pays that? But speaking of the Concubine Lounge, I mean, my friend Katie, it's her club, but her husband basically built it, and he's a songwriter. And someone was telling me last night he makes the bulk of his income off of one song, some Christmas song he wrote, and like he just gets paid. Like, it's almost like P Diddy having to pay Sting $2 grand a day for every breath you take, the sampling of that. It's kind of like that's what the Concubine Lounge. He gets something similar every day because of one song, plus the other ones he wrote. Um, I know it is cold in here. Brr. Someone's, he's still got tons of money. Now you can go through that. These, I would imagine P Diddy's lawyers probably charge 2,500 an hour, maybe more. Now that doesn't seem like a lot to a guy who's probably worth hundreds of millions, but that adds up. You got 5 or 6 lawyers charging you that a day, and they're working 10 to 14 hours a day, weekends too. Like, it's alarming how you can. I mean, look at Steven Adler. I mean, drummed on, I believe, Appetite for Destruction is the highest selling debut of all time, and he got full publishing on that. And he's asking me for $10 in the lobby. So you look at Mike Tyson, they say he blew $400 million. Look at Kamala Harris. I mean, raised $1 billion on her campaign. Think about that, $1 billion. I think it's the highest earning uh, political campaign ever. And at the end of the day, she was 20 million in debt. Like, where'd the money go, baby? So um, money is. There was this kid out here who, um, maybe a couple months ago, there was when the Powerball was 2 billion, and this like 25-year-old kid won it in Pasadena. And within like 3 days, he bought 3 mansions. Now, it's gonna be pretty hard to blow. I think after taxes, he got like, I don't know, 1.2 billion. So he's still got tons of money. But I think he bought a $25 million home in the Hollywood Hills. He bought a $4 million home in Pasadena, where he's from, and he bought another home somewhere in like Montebello for a. If he keeps this pace up, it's hard to blow 1.2 bill. I mean, you could live on the interest on that, but like if you're buying 25 to $50 million homes, plus the pussy's coming at him left and right. So, Earl, can you explain your unique fascination for trucking? Um, but still, she spent $1 billion, William. Yeah, Steven Tyler spending $6 million on cocaine. That's believable. I don't know. I mean, I guess Dylan, it's from me watching the movie Convoy, and I thought this is fucking cool. Like, I'm a night owl. I could see myself totally being a long haul trucker. And I would drive only at night. I love driving at night. And just, and this stream would basically be like talking on CB. You just talk to other truckers, breaker 19, breaker 19. This is a Rubber Duck. I'm at mile marker 240. Meet me at the Piggly Wiggly. I just, and I'm just fascinated by, you go on YouTube and I watched that one guy's channel, Alex the Trucking Guy. And, just like his truck is like a miniature home. Like I would love to just pull over and sleep on a king size bed for a few hours. I don't know about all the loading and unloading of the heavy shit he's hauling, but like, um, I mean, 315 million, like, I mean, like, I can't imagine this kid is going to blow 1.2 billion. That's pretty hard to do. Like, you know, but I mean, I mean, he's probably giving money to his friends, and that's where the trouble starts when you start handing out money to your friends and family. And like, even if you're doing that, 1.2 billion, like a couple million you could blow, but like, yeah, I mean, so did I. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying there, William. I mean, yeah, you got to remember, like, well, really, probably, what was Smoking the Band at 77? So you had the Smoking the Band, you had White Line Fever and Convoy. I think there's a couple others, and then BJ and the Bear was a big TV show back then. I mean, and you think about it, anytime you're on a freeway, you see these beautiful trucks driving by. They're like mobile homes. I mean, those trucks, if you go on YouTube and look up, um, 2024, Kenworth, truck. I mean, those fucking things are worth $300,000 or $400,000. I mean, the nicer ones, and even the cheaper ones are 100 grand. So I don't know. I just was always fascinated by the culture. Um, I will, Dr. Nova. I mean, I always have wanted to I've never been inside of an 18-wheeler truck. But I never wanted to go up to some dude in the truck. Hey, can I go inside of your truck? Like, you probably think I'm a Piazza or something. Um, I mean, I don't think if I won the lottery, I've already thought about it. What I would do is I would buy the biggest billboard on Sunset, which, if you are familiar with Sunset, if you're going westbound on Sunset, east of the Comedy Store, there's a huge billboard, like where Animal Kingdom, the TV show, had, and a lot of the big TV shows have it. Um, I would buy that billboard and I would just put up all my social media and like comedy specials, and I'd be the biggest comic in LA in about 2 weeks. I would still do comedy if I won the lottery. Maybe I'd buy the Comedy Store. Hey, why is Earl going up every night? Um, what up, Bend Over? We always welcome your gay takes in the stream. Um, yeah, I mean those live streams that Alex the trucker guy does. I mean, he's got like I think he's got like 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Who's Big Rig Becca? I mean, I would love to go. Like, I don't think I'd travel cross country in a truck just because I want to work out and shit. And, I'm set in my ways. So, but I wouldn't mind taking maybe a truck drive to San Diego, just to see the lifestyle. Uh, maybe Big Rig Becca. You could use. Uh, yeah, I mean, I would buy one of the Netflix billboards on Sunset in addition to that big billboard. I mean, that's people would be, who the fuck is Earl Skakel? I would put my Comedy Store schedule on the billboard. Earl Skakel every Saturday night at the Comedy Store. It'd be packed. I'd be a draw, baby. But some billionaire is going to buy MSNBC. I mean, I don't know. You probably have to fire all the hosts except for Maddow. I mean, she gets good ratings. You got to give her that. But the others, not so much, to be honest with you. But that's the time you buy a network. I mean, they're hurting. CNN's a disaster. They get worse ratings than MSNBC. So, if I were those two networks, I'd merge them both. Yeah, but she's probably pretty desperate to stay on. I mean, because she's not going to. I mean, I guess CNN would take her in a second. But there's really not a lot of names on that network. I mean, who cares about Al Sharpton? I mean, he's a joke. And then you got Morning Joe, which probably does pretty well ratings wise, but they're taking a big hit for visiting Trump after even the last 4 years calling him a Nazi. So I wonder how Ted Turner's doing. I mean, he's definitely probably pretty old, and he's probably not in great shape. I mean, Ted Turner strikes me as the type that probably doesn't work out or take vitamins. So if he's in his 80s, he's probably an old 80s. Well, I mean, CNN just doesn't. I think they peaked with the MSNBC or the what was that, MH370. They had the best. I will give them this. They had the best experts on MH370, but that's what, 10 years ago. So they've struggled. I mean, to get their footing. I mean, you're hanging on to a dinosaur like Wolf Blitzer. It's not happening. I mean, they do have some younger females. Who's the one that's got the eyebrows? She's kind of hot in a weird way. Caitlin Collins. Am I? Oh shit! Peter Chicken Man Brennan in the house. Well, I mean, once Trump goes, it'll be interesting to see how Fox News does. I mean, their ratings are up like 30% since the election. So, and they were already pretty good in the first place. I'm really more interested in what's going to go down in 2028 because, no more Trump. So, you've got either Vance or, maybe DeSantis can make a play without, Trump in the picture. Yeah, Aaron Burnett's not bad, but, I don't know if she does big ratings. You could tell is it Caitlin Collins? She's kind of overtaken. Aaron Burnett is the face of the network. So, um, I don't know, what that's going to mean for her. See, I don't watch CNN that much. I mean, I do turn into Burnett and Caitlin's show. Um, I just can't watch Wolf Blitzer anymore. It's like, I don't know. Just, not sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, Musk ain't donating all this money to Trump for nothing. He wants something in return. So yeah, I mean, podcasts have really put a dent in uh, media overall. I mean, someone asked me the other day who could help me. He's like, dude, if I could get you on Rogan or the Tonight Show, what would you want? I'm like, Rogan. I didn't even hesitate. And he's like, why? Educate me. And I'm like, well, you do the Tonight Show, which I would still do. Don't get me wrong. I'm certainly not in a position to turn down the Tonight Show. But I would, the Tonight Show, you do it once and it airs pretty much once, maybe twice. And people got to be staying up real late to watch your 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't think they really put it online that much. Whereas Rogan, the clips are chopped up on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's very easy to find, so you get more bang for your buck. So I think that, um, yeah. I mean, I'm not like anti-Wolf Blitzer. I don't know. He doesn't really do it for me. I mean, Jake Tapper, he's all right. Jim Rashudo, like he's okay. Um, I did like to watch Don Lemon because he was a little catty, so I enjoy. Don Lemon was almost like a black Matt Drudge. He's gay, but I don't think a lot of people know. So he gets catty with people, and it's just funny to me. I mean, I really didn't know who was going to win, to be honest with you. Oh, trust me on that one. Musk will get a nice return from his help. I mean, I didn't know who was going to win, Ross. I mean, I thought Kamala ran a bad campaign. I mean, she won the abortion issue, but any woman's going to win that against a 79-year-old male. Like, so I thought she spent way too much time on it. I thought she should, really batten down the hatches on immigration, inflation, the economy overall, and just her saying she was basically going to do it for the common man, and then you're trotting out Springsteen, who's probably close to a billionaire, Beyonce, all these, elitists, Oprah, telling you you're in it for the common man. Shit. Um, so, but there's something about Lemon I liked, So yeah, I mean, no one really does watch late night TV. I mean, my friend, this is late night TV has a comic. I won't say the person, but because I like them very much. And I had a friend of mine who recently did the Tonight Show and literally was at an open mic the next night. So that's what it does for you. It doesn't really do much for you. So I remember I did a bar show about maybe a year and a half ago, and everyone on it was pretty funny, but there was this older Asian guy, probably a little younger than me, so early 50s, maybe late 40s, and he was really funny. Like even in a shitty bar show, you're like, wow, this guy's good. And I remember talking to him afterwards, being like, "Who are you, man? I've never really heard of you before." And I meant that with no shade at all. And he was like, "Oh, I've been on Letterman, I've been on the Tonight Show, I've been on, Comedy Central Presents." I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And um, that just goes to show you. I mean, this guy had hit the top of the top in terms of TV gigs, and he's going on after me at some shit bar show. Um, but even Rogan, I think with Rogan it still helps, but only if it's a good interview. I've known people, friends of mine, who've gone on Rogan and did nothing for them, and it's not because the show's declining. It ain't, but they just weren't good on it. Like you got to really, Joe's a good interviewer, but you got to also play the game a little with him. And so, because if you don't have chemistry with him, you might get a few extra 100 followers, which I would love. But, I really think the last person that Rogan really popped was Allie McCoskey. I think she had like 2,500 followers, when she went on, and then the next day she had like 80,000. Because it was a good interview. She's funny and she's really dry, and like she almost has uh, she's like a female, but does almost like a funnier Sarah Silverman. So it was, and then I've had friends of mine go on, and they just kind of sat there. They didn't really have any interesting stories, and they were kind of real duds. And as good of an interviewer as Rogan is, if you don't give him anything to work with, it's just gonna be a painful 3 hours. Uh, yeah, something don't add up about that Leno story. I mean, like very Bob Saget-y, like he's at a Best Western or something in some dodgy part of town, and he's like, I don't know, something a little weird with that one. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a fun 4 years. Uh, yeah, I mean, Lemon, he definitely that didn't help him. Um, hello. Yeah, I mean, podcasts are really fucking. I mean, the mainstream media is done, man. Uh, Yeah, 100%. Like, I have a feeling if I ever do go on Rogan, Joe's gonna ask me about being related to the Kennedys. And if I would have a story queued up. I know where Joe is gonna go with me. He's probably gonna ask you, "Why do you hate Jeff Ross so much?" And I go, "Oh, I just don't like him." Well, that's not gonna be a very good clip. But if I really went into it, that'd be a good clip. What was it like being related to the Kennedys? Oh, it's cool. No, I'm gonna have a funny story about, when they came over to my parents' house in Bel Air, they started jumping off the roof to go into the pool, and shit like that. Fuck yeah. Thank you, John. Well, I don't know if I'm the GOAT. That might be playing it a little too much, John, but I give you your money's worth. Like last night, I did, I think, 45 minutes. I could have gotten off at 15, said goodnight, thank you very much. But I'm like Guns N' Roses, man. Whether you like Guns N' Roses or not, they play a 3-hour fucking show, man. They give you your money's worth. I would almost argue they play too long. But I'm appreciative of people paying the money. It ain't cheap to go to a comedy club. Now, this isn't on the Comedy Store, but, like, you go to the Comedy Store, you gotta figure you're gonna dinner beforehand, so that's at least $100 in LA, probably 2 to 300. You gotta find parking, and so that's 20 to $30 on Sunset, and then you gotta buy tickets, so that's unless you know someone on the lineup, that's, probably, 2 people, 40 bucks, let's say 100. Let's round it up to $100 for 2 people, and then you got 2 drink minimum, so that's 4 drinks, so that's probably about $100. So, it's a significant investment to take a date to the comedy club, and then, what if you go out, for a nightcap after? Um, so, I'm still 25 years into comedy, very, very appreciative of people who spend money to come see, not necessarily me, but like come to see a show. So I give them their money's worth. Now, I might not have been the funniest comic on the lineup last night, but I guarantee you they're gonna remember me the most. Trust me on that one. Leno looked like someone took a baseball bat to his face. Uh, well, I mean, William Holden died from falling at home and hitting his head on the coffee table. So, I mean, I don't know. There's just something fishy about that whole story. Uh, I mean, I don't know if I would say that. AC/DC, but, it's possible. I mean, I think Leno's wife is sick, if I'm remembering, so he probably doesn't that's I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but he might have certain needs that aren't being filled anymore, and he probably went to some shitty hotel, or an escort, but, it was a shitty hotel, though, like, I would think he'd go to Four Seasons or something, the Peninsula, or maybe he'd be too recognized at the Peninsula. Who knows? But I don't know. It's just something don't add up right. Well, I don't know about that, Ross. I mean, oh, really? I didn't see that, Dylan. I heard he played I Can't Drive 55. I mean, Ross, I went to the Steelers, was the Steelers Rams game, and now the ticket parking was $100 at SoFi Stadium. It's out of control, but you don't really want to park your car in that neighborhood. Trust me on that one. And then the tickets, I think, well, I bought one ticket, were $375 for a decent ticket. So I'm out $475 before I even put my juicy ass in the seat. Now, I think the meal I got was a burrito, a large diet Pepsi, and not a snow cone, but like a yogurt type thing. $70. So 475, $70. So, for one person to go to a Pittsburgh Steeler Ram game is about close to $600. And that's one person. If I took a date, it's one of the benefits of being single. That's a $600 investment for me. If I was with someone else, that's $1,200. Well, no, I wouldn't have to pay another 100 for parking, but that's a very expensive date. I don't know. Oh, that's great, John Ray. I didn't know that. Seems like we both have famous grandfathers. Um, so Well, I mean, you make it I've often plugged this guy's YouTube channel. I don't know him, uh, but, hood you wanna go, like, a deep dive into LA gang culture, look up it's 3 words, "Hood War Stories," and, the guy does, like, a breakdown of the neighborhoods, the gang wars, and, SoFi Stadium's all Crips and Bloods, and, SoFi Stadium is was it, east of Inglewood High, but Inglewood High, it's probably the most gang populated high school on earth. And so i.e. they all live in that area. So believe me, the $100 investment to park in the lot at SoFi Stadium, and you're usually parking at the Forum, and then you walk over. It's worth it. Well, I mean, the Rams gotta win, I mean, LA, it's like the Kings do well when they're winning, and when they're not, there's probably 13,000 people in a 17,005 arena. So, which I don't really have a preference, to be honest with you. Um, well, Dr. Nova, I was getting more than a hand job, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, but I'm telling you, when I went to AEW wrestling at the Forum, um, it was $100 to park. Um, Home Depot truck. Yeah, I guess. I mean, but here's the thing: they are kind of gentrifying that neighborhood. So, like, there's some real nice homes, like right across the street from SoFi. But you think I want to walk Lois at 3 or 4 in the morning on Manchester and Prairie. No thanks. Look up that intersection. So we'll do another 5 minutes, guys, and I got to go to the gym before they close, if you know what I'm saying. So, but I think the Ram fans, you got to win. It's the same thing with the Chargers. The Chargers, you have to win. And, if you don't, there's just too much shit to do in the city of LA. I mean, you've got the Lakers, you've got the Dodgers who just won the championship. I guess you can count the Angels. They're in Anaheim, but it's close enough to drive. You've got the Kings, you've got the Ducks, you've got multiple soccer teams. So, people are, have a lot of choices where you want to spend your money. So, yes, thank you as always, William, for being thebombdiggity.com as the moderator. Thank you to all my moderators. I have 3 moderators, Kip Smith and Gina Babina. Now, people are like, Earl, why do you have 3 moderators for a 12-person stream? Well, that's the way I roll. Help get me some more people in these goddamn streams, and then I can justify getting more mods. Maybe I'll just make everyone a moderator. So it will be the all moderator stream. Switch it up. Hopefully I will be at the Comedy Store this week. Yeah, maybe I should do a late night stream from SoFi Stadium, just drive around in Inglewood. And that's a rough neighborhood, man. But, they're definitely trying to get more money in there. There's nicer condos, there's great deals. Like, if you don't mind roughing it, you could get $1 million condo in Inglewood for 600,000 to 700,000. But the problem is, then you got to fucking live in Inglewood. So 100%, I probably do, William. But what am I going to do? I'm trying everything I can to get more people in here. The West Hollywood Lube concession, big money, baby, big money. Oh, really? That's funny. I've never heard of Inglewood, Chicago. But like, why would you complain about that, William? I forget the guy, and he meant well. I forget his name, but like, what am I gonna do? Yes, thank you, Ryan. I don't know what I'm doing everything I can to get more people in here. I'm not complaining. 100%. I'm putting out more shorts, which has kind of bumped up my subscribers a little bit. The Jesse Lee Peterson shorts seem to have done well. And I've probably got about 10 more of those. Well, I get it. I don't think he was really trolling. He was just busting my balls. But, and I do realize going on at, what time is it for me right now? It's 9:41, so, either 11 or 12:41 for you guys. So, yeah, I'm good. Like, I did watch that Kevin and Bob Levy argument. That was kind of fun. But I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about Ray DeVito. I don't want to talk about Steel Toe. Do I wish there were more people in here? 100%. Yeah. So like, it's 1 a.m. for Ryan. I don't expect Ryan to be fully engaged in this stream. But I'm doing everything I can to get more people in here, just so it's more fun for you people too. If I could add a 0 at the end of that 11 to have 110 people in here, that would be fun. And but I still like doing it. I don't know. I don't watch Scary Perry's stream. I don't, and that's the last thing I would talk about. Like, I haven't found that guy funny since I met him at Canoga Park Bowl at the comedy show 20 years ago. I'm like, this guy sucks. Don Barris is the only guy that's ever made that guy funny. And, now they don't work for whatever reason. There's drama there. But I'd rather have 11 people in here talking about AEW wrestling and just talking about politics. So I do appreciate the 11 people who are in here right now. We got one more minute, kids. One more minute. Well, but they also, and I wouldn't take super chats. Hey, Earl, eat a bag of fucking, I don't know, whatever, Twizzlers. Here's $5. So yeah, I did like, I don't, we can delve a little bit into AEW. I don't know if I would have had Lashley win as dominantly as he did. And no, I'm not counting the handicap match he had on Wednesday on Dynamite with some guy named Cheeseburger, which AEW does have the fucking best jobbers, but I you kind of made Swerve look pretty weak with that finish. I would have had him kind of kick out of the Hurt Locker or whatever they call Lashley's finish. But I bet you are, Bendover. I bet you are. I have not had a Twizzler. Probably. I mean, I probably ate them at Dodger games back in the day. But the Hurt Lock. Yeah, I mean, I would have had maybe a Swerve kick out of that once. And then. It's like when they had Wardlow powerbomb. Remember when they brought in Big Bill from TNA and Wardlow powerbombed him once, and he pinned him. It was like, well, that makes Big Bill look pretty weak that he couldn't take one powerbomb. So, well, AC/DC certainly trying to end the stream on a good note. I don't. Well, I mean. I don't really beat off anymore. I gotta save it for the ladies. So I mean, any big titted girl, I guess, Petra Verkaik, Patty Please, old school. You know, no, I'm serious. No, I don't think about Leslie Jones, William Zoom. No, I didn't say I don't do it at all, but I'm saying, at 56, I got to be honest with you, I'm one and done. So I got to save it for the ladies. This might be surprising to you guys, but even though I've had some bad breakups in recent years, I do okay with the ladies. Trust me on that one. Now, I know that when a guy says he gets laid a lot, he's not getting laid at all, but you guys know me. I ain't a bullshitter. And let's just say I spend many a night at the Comedy Store speaking in tongue. Um, I do like those old school playmates, Barbie Benton. I'm trying to think. I mean, Playboy never really had girls with gigantic tits. So I was, that's why I like those old schoolers. Gina Tomasino. I don't know. I mean, the Burt Reynolds pose, it didn't hurt. Trust me on that one, Ryan. Let me look up Gina Tomasino. I don't know who that is, William. So let's see. Gina Tomasino. She looks kind of nasty from the pictures, but let me see. No chest shots here. So let's let me go on. Yeah, they're not showing anything. Well, of course. Oh yeah. I mean, those ZZ Top girls were hot. And let me see. I'm trying to think who else. Well, Amy Dolan's. I mean, I'm not saying I'd beat off to Amy Dolan's, but I mean that Burt Reynolds picture. Yeah, I mean Sally Struthers, Tawny Katane. I'm too close to Tawny to beat off to her, but Tawny and I kind of had a weird crush on me. And you're probably going, yeah, bullshit. One of the hottest girls from the 80s had a crush on you. But I think it was because I was like the only guy at the comedy store not trying to fuck her, so it intrigued her of why isn't this guy trying to put a move on me? I'm not saying we would have dated or we probably wouldn't have, but I think about Tawny a lot. She was an awesome person. Just couldn't control her demons, unfortunately. Yeah, Lori Loughlin was cute. I mean, a lot of cute girls from the 80s. Amanda Peterson, rest in peace. I mean, Jenny Wright, as you know, I'm friends with Jenny. Not like good friends, but like friendly enough. So um, I think due to pills, unfortunately for Tawny. Yeah, R.I.P. Chuck Woolery. I mean, that guy got a lot of pussy back in the day. We'll go to 1 hour and 15 minutes. So we got 4.5 minutes, guys. I got to go to the gym. Yeah. I mean, Chuck Woolery, the pussy that guy must have got. He'd probably film Love Connection or whatever those shows he was on and then go to the like a local bar in Burbank. I mean, Chuck Woolery did all right for himself. Oh, no, I mean, I saw Rob Reiner was, trending I think yesterday. I just have no interest in, why he was trending, to be honest with you, so I just kinda I took a knee on that one. Yeah, Richard Dawson, Richard Dawson, Johnny Carson, they probably, film Family Feud or The Tonight Show and then go to, what's that one, the Smokehouse right across the street from Warner Brothers. I've taken many a date to the Smokehouse and, like, I mean, Richard Dawson in the 70s, you could fuck anybody, probably even into the 80s. Yeah, Steelers Bengals, that's a big game. I mean, and he was kind of a good looking guy. He had that 70s, cool old guy who smoked a lot look. Um, so, I'm sure he did quite well. So, shout out, rest in peace, Richard Dawson. You killed it in The Running Man. What was his name in The Running Man? Killian. Hogan's Heroes. I mean, you talk about residuals. Hogan's Heroes is still played today. Oh yeah, Clint Eastwood. I mean, big time money, big business. Clint Eastwood. So I mean, Clint Eastwood had dinner with my mom and friends when she was pregnant with me, and my mom said, "You'll never make it in this business. You're too nice." So yeah, I mean, Sandra Locke, but Sandra Locke had that like almost tweaker cute look, like real skinny, probably a maniac in bed. Back in like when they were filming The Gauntlet, I mean, you could tell they were fucking in The Gauntlet. So I mean, I don't know, I need some boobies, but hey, who am I to judge who Clint Eastwood was porking back in the day? As Detective Ben Shockley of the Vegas PD. That bad guy with the white hair and gauntlet, he was a great bad guy. Just real smoky voice and whatnot. 2 more minutes, guys. I don't eat chocolate bars like my father. I'm not a diabetic, so um, you know, I do like chocolate, but it's usually protein bars. So I could look as good as I do for 56 years old. Um, and get girls who have daddy issues, and some of them have uncle issues. Hello, uh, the cop they took hostage. Yeah, yeah. What's his name? William. Fuck. He was in a lot of Clint Eastwood movies, and he was also. I was what. I never realized this. It's a very quick scene. Uh, I was watching Against All Odds, and he was the football coach. Uh, William, fuck, what was his name? Yeah, have a good one, Ryan. He was also in Rambo. He played one of the sheriffs in Rambo. Bill McKinney. I think his name is Bill McKinney. Um, Great voice, great look. I mean, he was like the perfect character actor. He could play anything. He'd play the small town sheriff. He could play the the hillbilly. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was in Deliverance. Let's see what Bill. We'll end the stream. We'll go a few seconds over. Yeah, he was one of the God didn't create Rambo. I did. And Bill McKinney's like, if I was him, I'd try and pick up some crosstalk or something. Let's see, William McKinney, actor. I guess it was Bill McKinney. So let's see, died 2011. So 19. Let's see, his last video. He's known for First Blood. He was in Deliverance, The Outlaw Josie Wales, Back to the Future 3. I mean, he was in a lot of. Let's go to his 70s output. I mean, I think that's where he was. Oh, in that way. Wow, look at that. Originally, Stanley Kubrick wanted McKinney for the role of the drill instructor in Full Metal Jacket. McKinney was about to fly to London to meet with him, but Kubrick canceled at the last moment. He later explained to John Borman that the prospect of meeting the mountain man from Deliverance was simply too terrifying. Okay, well, there you go. Let's see. What other? Let's get to his full. I mean, this guy was a working actor for a very long time. Jesus Christ! I mean, hundreds of films. He was in the Monkees, I Dream of Jeannie, McCloud. I mean, Deliverance, Ironside, Cleopatra Jones, Mannix. I mean, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. Trying to think of some of the better. Long Way Home. I mean, my God, the Outlaw Josie Wales, the Shootist, the Gauntlet, Starsky and Hutch, Every Which Way But Loose. I mean, Bronco Billy, Any Which Way You Can, BJ and the Bear, The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo, First Blood, Father Murphy. I mean, he was in a substantial amount of. That's a guy who you think, oh, this guy, what happened to that guy from, the Gauntlet? And, this guy's been in literally probably 200 fucking films. So, he's literally the definition of a working actor. Yeah, Sheriff Lobo was pretty bad. And worked all the way, let's see, when his last, he died in 2011, and his last gig was in 2011. So, literally the iconic definition of a working actor. So, all right, you kids, Chris Penn, awesome. I used to see him at a Russian bar when I first started doing comedy. I would do this youth hostel on Saturday nights and on the Santa Monica Promenade. And me and my girlfriend at the time would go to eat at the food court at the mall after. And I would always see Chris Penn blasted at some Russian bar. Nice guy, though. So that is it, guys. I'll probably stream tomorrow. This was a fun stream. And as always, I always try and make it good for you guys. You make it good for me, so I appreciate it. And this has been the Earlverse Sunday night edition.